speeches will be recorded.
Where's the camera?
Oh, okay.
Right there.
All right.
Oh.
I'm gonna look at it and get distracted. All right, Sarah, whenever you're ready.
So I'm going to start off today by asking the question of how would you feel if your home was taken away from you? So a lot of our issues today revolve around how will this affect us and what does this mean for us as humans? But many issues are happening around the world that don't have a direct effect on us, but they could in the long run. So with that, I bring you to the African savannas. So the animals of the savannas are suffering a severe habitat loss, which is putting many different species at risk. And this topic is important to me because obviously the savannas is home to my favorite animal, but it should be important to you because it will affect all of us in the long run. So that's my first picture, cute little giraffe. Okay, so to begin, I bring you to the causes of habitat loss. So the main one would be human actions, and then to break that down, a lot of it is unsustainable and poor agricultural practices from the farmers in the area, and grazing livestock, crop clearing, invasive species, monocropping, toxic pesticides, and then the urban areas expanding there. So now only 1% of the original tall grass prairie exists, so that's not enough to sustain the life of every animal that's living in the savannas now. However, prevention is possible. So by using land use and conservation plans, you can plan of the use of the area instead of wasting it more. You can, like the farmers can look at their land and be like, how much do we really need to use instead of using more than what they do? And then by expanding like national parks and improving management there, you can make the national parks there bigger so it protects the animals in there, and then get more people to manage it so that people aren't trespassing or using the land. So it's really just a compromise for both worlds. Everybody gets what they want. So that's just a picture of all of the crops, I guess, they're using in there, the savannas. And then this is an example of the grazing animals within like the zebras. Cows and zebras don't really go together, so. To follow up, I bring you to how crucial a habitat the savannas is. So the savanna is home to one of the largest animal populations. They have over 40 species that live in the savannas. And of those, the cheetahs, the lions, black rhinos, African savanna elephants, African wild dogs, and zebras are all endangered. So the savanna would really need to shift to accommodate the loss of all of those important species. And then along with tropical forests, rainforests, so the savannas play a crucial role in regulating climate change because healthy and large landscapes helps absorb the carbon emissions. So then by climate smart planning, sustainable natural resource management, and conservation friendly enterprises will reduce the vulnerability to climate change. So by saving that environment, it in turn saves us. That's just a bunch of pictures of animals in the savannas. All of them are endangered except for the giraffe. I just like giraffe, so I put it on there. So to expand about the severity of habitat loss and climate change. So in the savannas, climate change means that there would be more rain, and which would result in more trees. And the savanna is not a landscape where there's a lot of trees because the animals don't survive in that habitat because there's different habitats for different animals. And the savanna would become a forest if there's a bunch of trees everywhere. Plus, like as a giraffe, you can't really walk around if there's a bunch of trees in your way. So to fix that, a lot of people have been starting fires there to like clear the trees out. And sometimes that's a bad thing, but at other times, starting the fires brings it back to its natural glory and it helps the climate change. And then the animals can't survive in the new home if there's a bunch of trees. So then they try to find a home in where we live, so like the urban areas, and then it'd be us against the animals battling for the same home, which is not good. So then there's ways of prevention for that. Like I had mentioned previously, like the planning of land and stuff like that. And then the Africa takes pride in their savanna, so being without it would hurt the environment, the climate, the safety, and all of that. So this is a diagram of the blue shows like the savanna land in Africa, and then the other side is that same amount of land, but in reality, you're looking for like yellow for the savannas because the red means there's a lot of crops there, and you can see crops all the way up here, and then the green means there's a lot of trees. So the ideal savanna would be yellow, and there's not a lot of that in there. So by burning the trees down, you can create more like the grassland area. And then that's just an example of the burning trees. So ultimately, the savanna is a really resilient habitat. However, it's not immune to human actions. No habitat is. And animals are struggling to survive due to the habitat loss. And there are ways of prevention and then ways to preserve it so that all of the animals can live their long term, not just giraffes. So this is a picture of what the savanna should look like. Thank you.